Out.
I like every single person in this room. I like you all because you are a cross stitch of America, and I like Americans. I do. I like Americans so much that I want to tell you about insurance you should get. The insurance you should get is the most unique in the world. Imagine if you woke up one evening and found that there was a fire in your house. And you got your family out of the house and you found that you could just call your insurance agent while the fire was burning your house and say, I would like more fire insurance, please. And they could give it to you. Imagine if you could do that. You can. The truth is, in my opinion, in my analysis, America will be bankrupt in 10 to 15 years. The country that you live in, that is the greatest country in the world, the most economically prosperous country in history, will be bankrupt in 10 to 15 years. Currently, we are running a deficit of $17.4 trillion. That's just a number. It sounds big. You think it's big. It's bigger than you can imagine. The reason it's so large is because the interest alone on that debt annually is $500 billion. That's just to pay the interest for the debt. It is so unbelievably wrong that if it was your own personal debt, you would have declared bankruptcy years ago. It represents 101.6% of the national GDP. So we actually owe more money than we're bringing in. No business in the world can do this. Only the government can do this. So we have this $17.4 trillion debt, of which that is not the number that kicks you in the gut. The number that's going to kick you in the gut is the $125 trillion in unfunded liabilities that we have. $125 trillion unfunded liability. What is an unfunded liability? That is a promise that we have made that we cannot keep. Number one, Social Security. We cannot afford it. Medicare. Unemployment. Workman's comp. We cannot afford these programs, but we cannot get rid of these programs. It's impossible at this point to say, we no longer have Social Security, sorry, because the government can't do it. It's already too far. So what about this debt should concern you? Who cares? It's the government's money. I don't care if they go out of business or go bankrupt. You should care, because we are a free people represented by people that represent us. We elect our representatives. So really, it's not their debt, it's your debt, your personal debt. Each and every person in this room currently owes $55,000. You currently owe that money right now. If you have 3 people in your home, that's 3 times $55,000 that you owe. That's a lot of money. And if you were asked to give that money right now, since you owe it, could you do it? Do you have that money to give up immediately, right now, on demand? Guess what? That money could be asked for immediately on demand. Because a majority of our debt, our real debt, is owned by foreign nations. China, Japan, Great Britain, Russia, Brazil, and several others. So if they decided one day that they are going to call on their money, it was a loan. It's not like a loan where you go get a car and it's 60 months or whatever. This is a loan due now. So as unfunded liability, your share per person is $396,000. So how can America go bankrupt? It's impossible, right? It's impossible for America to go bankrupt. Detroit was the largest per capita city as far as earnings in 1967. It is now bankrupt. It can happen with the exact same formula we're using in America. So, the more money they print, the less money you have. Okay? What I'm advising is for you to take 10% of your paycheck every single week, 10%, and buy silver with it. Not paper silver, real silver. Silver is affordable. Gold is overpriced. Do not look at gold. Gold to silver ratio currently is 1 to 60. That means the value of 1 ounce is worth 60 ounces of silver. Actual found resources of gold and silver is 1 to 16. Don't buy gold. Silver is used industrially around the world. It has value, more than jewelry and things like this. And it can be traded for any currency. If the dollar fails, you can trade it in for yens or Australian dollars or whatever the current currency is going to be when we go bankrupt. And you can also use it slowly. So as we go bankrupt, you can still use it, little by little, to survive. Okay? So, won't the government tell us when they're about to become bankrupt so we can get ahead of it? No. Think about the housing bubble. Up to a week prior to the housing bubble burst, senators and federal chairmen were telling the American public that the housing bubble was a myth, did not exist, a week prior to the burst. So, I don't trust people to tell me what I can see clearly. I'm an engineer. You know what engineers know? Numbers. Numbers do not lie. And they're brutally honest. So I like every one of you. I offer that piece of advice for you. Thank you.